Hey there guys, it's Math&More here again and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be explaining why we can't divide by 0. So there are many reasons for this, so I'm just going to explain a few. And yeah, hopefully you understand by the end of this video. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be really helpful. And so yeah, let's get started. So I'm just going to write down this equation here. So let's say we have some number y divided by 0 is equal to x. So given that y does not equal 0, what value of x will make this true? So one thing we can do from algebra, we can manipulate this equation, and this is the same thing as saying y is equal to 0 times x. So given that y is any number, so let's say y is equal to 2. So it's equal to 0. So what value of x times 0 is equal to 2? And this is where the problem comes. There's no value of x for where you multiply 0 that equals 2. We can multiply by 3. So 2 is equal to 3 times 0. And guess what? This just gives me 0. This is not equal. So basically you already know any number times 0 is 0. That's why we can't do this. Even a billion times 0, still 0. You can think of the biggest number in the world, it still won't equal to 2. So this so there are other ways of explaining this. So some might bring up that why not have x equal infinity? And well, the problem with this is there are many problems with this actually. Infinity is not a number, it's more of a concept. And even if you treat it as a number and you say infinity times 0 is equal to any number, so you're saying that 2 over, so any number, so this could be any number. If this is equal to infinity, then you're also saying that this is also equal to infinity if you're implying this logic. And by this logic, you're saying that by this logic you're saying that 2 over 0 is equal to 3, and by this logic you're saying that 2 is equal to 3, which it obviously isn't. So that's the problem with dividing by 0 that way. And let's see, so there's also more reasons why we can't use infinity. So one of the things I've thought of, let's say we'll take a graph right here. So y'all know that this is a positive slope right here. So the steeper the slope gets, this is greater than this because it's a steeper slope. But wait, before I get to that, so if we keep increasing the slope until we get to some arbitrarily large number, so as the slope gets steeper, eventually we're gonna get y over 0, because that's what the slope of a vertical line is through any point. And this is undefined. Any number divided by 0 is undefined. And the reason why we can't just use infinity, let me just erase some of this. That won't be effective. Oh well. Just forget about that, whatever. Anyway, the reason why we call this undefined, so some might say as it gets bigger, the slope gets infinitely steep. You can just say that it goes to infinity, it tends towards infinity. So some might say this is equal to infinity. But the problem here is, what if we come from the other side with the negative slope, like this? So if we come from negative slopes like this, if we get a steeper negative slope, we're going to tend towards negative infinity. And see, this is the problem. It can not be infinity because we can make an equal argument for it being negative infinity. So that's the main issue here. Yeah, there's lots more reasons why we can't divide by 0. So we call it undefined. Any number divided by 0 is undefined because there's no solution for which this is true. Now remember in the beginning I said for y is not equal 0. Because if y equals 0, then things get a little bit different. So if we have 0 divided by 0, well, this is quite a unique situation. This is actually called indeterminate. Indeterminate. And the reason why it's indeterminate, well, let's do what we did for the first equation. Let's manipulate this. So 0 is equal to 0 times x. So what values of 0, and for what values of x times 0 is equal to 0? Well, this can be any number. Any number. Because any number times 0 is 0. So we can have 1 times 0, 2 times 0, a billion times 0. It's all going to tend towards 0. So the reason why we call it indeterminate is because we can't determine the value of it. As unlike the first equation about where we're saying we can't divide by 0 given that y does not equal 0, there's no value, which means that's undefined. There's no definite value. But here, we definitely do have values. In fact, we have infinite values. So that's why it's indeterminate. So I hope you like this video. It's pretty short, but I just wanted to explain why we can't divide by 0 and what happens when you do 0 divided by 0. I hope this helped, and please subscribe. And thank you. See you later.